Hi guys, welcome to another episode of Airbnb. We discuss everything Airbnb here. If you haven't seen other videos, please check it out. I actually have a whole course so you can look at it from before you get Airbnb in Nigeria, getting into Airbnb business in Nigeria and all that. Now, a lot of people have asked, is Airbnb still very lucrative in Nigeria? And the question is yes. People are coming in every day. Airbnb is something that works. Airbnb is something that will still work and will keep working because there are still limitations when it comes to hotels. Example, a lot of content creators now will go for Airbnb, which is shortlet apartments. By the way, in Nigeria, we call all of them Airbnb, shortlet, whatever it is. As long as it's not yearly, we call it Airbnb. So yeah, I wanted to clear that out. So yes, the Airbnb business is something that will keep going on in Nigeria because, for example, content creators, they love to book Airbnb to film because it is easy for them to do their content and all that while still visiting Nigeria. Families, it's easier for them to come with their entire family if it's an Airbnb compared to if it's just a hotel because you're staying outside for 5-6 days. You're staying for a month. Some of them even stay for 2 months, 3 months. You will not stay in a hotel for this long because it's not as convenient as Airbnb shortlet in terms of making your own food, warming your food, just having that space because it still feels like home away from home. So I've seen a lot of Airbnb coming up, apartments, people even turning their apartments to shortlets, and this is a business that is still lucrative. I can tell you so many people, remote workers these days, because of the life situation in Nigeria as well, remote workers always want to check in. There are even people who are couples married, but they want to take a break and they decide okay, let me just stay out of everything that feels like home and just go home away from home. My point is, for people that are asking if Airbnb is still making money, you can Google for yourself and check how many people booked Airbnb just last year alone. 30 December, that's even the highest. So if you're thinking of going to Airbnb business, this is for you. Now, the good thing about this property business is that I'm going to be teaching you how to successfully run an Airbnb business in Nigeria. The good thing about Airbnb business is that you do not have to have a lot of money. Now, before I made money to start buying my own properties, I actually used to do rent to rent. So Airbnb is very lucrative even if you don't have money to buy your property, if you want to just lease. Once you have something to put in, there are so many sectors of Airbnb. You might be watching this video and you're interested in managing an Airbnb. Maybe you have an investor that wants to invest in Airbnb and you're like, okay, this is another way of going into the business. So let's talk about everything from beginning to end. I wrote down my points so I don't miss anyone. The first one is the property that you are buying. Now, it is important to have this in mind first. What kind of Airbnb, what kind of shortlet apartments are you looking at? This will help you know if you're getting a 2-bedroom or a 3-bedroom. Now, when it comes to shortlets, I usually advise people to either get a 1-bed or 2-bed, right? Because if you don't have money, or maybe you have an existing home that you want to turn into an Airbnb, that's different. You already bought it for another purpose and you're turning it in. But in terms of starting, 1-bedroom and 2-bedroom usually goes out fast. Now, one good thing about the 2-bedroom is that you price it the same, but different. So if you have a 2-bed and somebody wants a 1-bed, what you do is you lock the other bed. So you're not losing much. Unlike if you have 3-bed and you have to lock up an entire 2 rooms. So that's why I usually advise 1 or 2-bed. Now, this helps to know the property you're buying. If you're looking at buying a property, it's very important as well to say, okay, what kind of Airbnb, what kind of shortlet do I want to do? Am I looking at family? Am I looking at content creators? It's important to answer this question because it will help you know where and the kind of property you're getting, right? And the amount you're getting the property and all that. Now, the next one is to rent or to buy. In case you're not interested in buying now, the good thing about shortlet business is that there's an estate where I have an apartment in. That estate has about 8 shortlets that are managed by one person. So what he did is that he got bulk money and rented the entire 8 units from the landlord for a period of 5 years and owned it. So for that 5 years, him and the landlord has an agreement that he's going to use it to run shortlet business. So for 5 years, the landlord cannot, they have an agreement. He petitioned some of them. So you have to go into agreement with them to be sure that, okay, what can you change? things like that. So this is another way of owning Airbnb. And when you're coming out, so you see when some people come and say, I own 8 Airbnb business, blah, blah, it doesn't mean that they own 8 properties. No, at that period, once you have leased it, it is your property. So yes, this is one way that people also go into the Airbnb business, the shortlet business, without actually buying their own property. So you can do what is called the lease, rent to rent, where you rent. But please, if you're doing this, make sure that the landlord don't just a lot of people in Nigeria, because they were not honest, went to rent and they did not tell the landlord what they were doing with their property. No, you must tell them what you are doing with the property, and you must sign a proper agreement, so that it's not like 1 year, in the next year the landlord will just come and decide that, okay, I want to use this property for something else. So ensure that you have your legal document, you have your legal document. So that will help you also to know, are you looking at a place where people can do parties? Are you looking at a place where it can be family? These things are important when you're setting up your Airbnb. If you're able to answer this question, it will even help you know the location. Example, a lot of estates will say that once it's 10, no noise. You cannot have a shortlet business in that kind of estate and want to be using it for party, because once it's 10, it's not allowed to make noise. You're not allowed to make noise. So things like that, if you're looking at that kind of space, you're thinking of getting the property outside an estate, right? Somebody commented something in my previous video by saying that some estates do not have 24 hours access. No, that is not true. There is no estate, I mean, at least now. I know they used to do it those days where after a while you're not allowed to come in, or taxis not allowed to come in. That's not even feasible. At least in places like Lagos, where this place is round the clock, you cannot tell people that they can't come in at a certain time. Rather, what they do, which also happens in estates like mine, is that they have a time. Like, let's say once it's 12, a car that is not registered cannot come in terms of Uber and all cannot come in. But if it's your guest that you gave access, it can come in. But if it's Uber or taxi, it can't come in at a certain time, meaning that that person will have to stay outside. Now, will have to park outside and the guests will walk in. So it's important to communicate this to your guests. Yeah. If your guest, like if you say in an estate where you know that your guest is going to be coming with a taxi, and taxis are not allowed at 12. Now, what estates also do is, because funny enough, someone also commented to say that, oh, that shortlets, Airbnb, that they don't have reception or whatever. I like how people just talk from a place of, like, if you're not sure of something, before I bring anything here for you people, I have experienced it, I have lived it, I have seen it firsthand, which is what makes my channel unique. So if you're new and you're trying to question anything I say, best believe that I do not just say what I read up, I say what I have experienced. Yeah. So when you're dealing with a lot of Airbnb, there's some apartments now. This happens a lot in Abuja because I keyed into one recently. What they do is that they build it specifically for this short-let purpose. So what they do is that those block of apartments, they have it as well in Rwanda. And you see some when you go to bookings.com, you're trying to book a property, they'll say reception available. Yes, because there's a receptionist there. So what they do with this new apartments now is that they put a reception in the apartment. So everybody's service charge is going into paying the people in that front desk, because they have in mind that they want to be using that place for shortlets and things like that. So like a concierge, what they call it. So the person in the reception, it's almost like a hotel. The way you see people in a hotel, they will be the ones to check you in. They will be the ones to hold your parcel. Maybe you have a parcel coming in, you can tell them to leave it at the reception. So that's literally is what it is. And people go for this because it is easier for you, because a lot of people had this issue with Airbnb where they are trying to contact the host at a certain time. Maybe they have issues and the host will not be available. So when you are getting an Airbnb, that kind of space, like an estate or something where they have this reception available, it makes it easy for you to go if you have any complaint at any time of the night. Now, about the checking in, again, like I said, my estate does this as well. There's a limit to when you can check in. So some of them, it's just like a hotel. They'll tell you that check-in is so time, check-out is so time. So that means your guests must be checked in. If they say check-in is 2 and check-in closing at 5, for example, or 10 p.m., they usually make it later. That means that after 10 p.m., your guests cannot check in. It doesn't mean that your guests cannot come after 10 p.m. No, it means that your guests have to check in online before coming to the place, because what they do is that they change shift. The person in charge might leave, and then to just be an intern there who is not allowed to check in but just take certain inquiries, if that makes sense. So it's not just okay to just buy a property and just say, oh, I'm using this property for Airbnb, without checking the area and knowing about little details like this. So if you want your space to be where people can travel and stay, you can comfortably do this in an estate. If you're looking for a place where people can party, it only has to be in estates, like I mentioned in my previous video, estates that are not hands-on, like big estates like Chevy View, where in Lagos, where they still let you do your thing, not a small estate of maybe about 40 flats in it, where it's easy to know that no, this person is making noise at a certain time. So it's very important. The next one I wrote was location. Location is very, very important. I think I've spoken a lot on location because this is where it starts. To be honest, let me use Lagos for example. Airbnb in Lekki phase 1 would definitely do better than Airbnb in Aja. Now things change, right? So recently, for example, so if I want to get an Airbnb in Aja now for property purpose, I will not get a 1-bed, I will not get a 2-bed. I will know that it is for people that want to do parties and things like that, and people that come in as a group. So I'll do like a 3 to 4-bed. Unlike in Lekki, where I would do just a 1-bed or a 2-bed. Now, because areas like this, number one, there's a lot of traffic, right? And like I said, if you're looking there, you're looking at getting people who want to really come as a group, or who are coming for like party purpose, not people that just want 1 day or 2 days. Now things have changed. Like as of time I'm making this video now, there is a recent coastal road that has opened up. With this now, it has cut off so many traffic. So when people talk about going to Aja, the other day I went from Lekki 1 to Shangotedo. I went to the coastal road and no single traffic all the way till I got to Ebe. This did not used to be the case. Now little things like this have changed the game of real estate in that area, and also a lot of estates opening there. So imagine a remote worker who is coming to Nigeria for a month. You can easily stay there, because at the end of the day, with the coastal road, you can go in and out at any time. You don't have to, you're not clocking into VI at a certain time. So it's important to also know locations and the potentials of the location, because this coastal road, for example, right, it just came up, but it has been in the map since. So the people that keyed into that place, when I was buying a property there, that was the first thing I checked. When the property I bought then was like this or nothing. Don't even want to know how much it is now. So that is one thing about real estate. It will always come up, but knowing the things around it, knowing the potential, like there's about to be like, I think, a red line. So imagine when the train comes, which is, I think we have the blue line, and that won't be the red line. That place will be like a game changer. So if you're looking to get properties around that area now, go for it. Now, another thing is your budget, setting up the home. You must have a budget. If you do not have a budget, you're going to run into too many issues. Have a budget and ask yourself, okay, this is depends on when you're watching this video, but making it 2026, a lot of people film content now. I saw someone that went to South Africa, and I was just like, oh my God, Nigerians haven't started doing luxurious homes for Airbnb purpose. Like the home that these people checked into was fine. And because these girls were content creators, they were not going to take anything less. For them, that is very important. So having a budget is also very good for your Airbnb. If you're not good with things like this, pay someone to set it up for you. You can also check out my space, because I have something called Kosher Spaces. Yes, I have a business called Kosher Spaces. I do interior things like that. You can also just buy from me. You can consult, whatever it is. Just send me a message and we can talk about it. My point is, you have to ask yourself, right? How do I want this place to feel? Do I want it to feel warm? Just throwing little things like the color matters, the kind of chairs you have. I have this Airbnb that my chair kept, when I buy these expensive chairs, you have no control of people coming. They're coming with their kids. They will spill things there, and it kept spoiling. And it was such a game changer. When I went to the store, I'm not going to mention them because they really, really messed up with delivery. Like, it was a whole mess before I could get what I wanted. And not just to me, they've been doing it to subsequent people, so I'm not going to mention them. But yeah, I went on Pinterest and got something and told them to make it for me. Since they made that stuff for me, I've not had to be changing it. So it is important to know what you're putting in. I was watching one video of Airbnb recently, like an apartment. I was trying to check it out in Abuja, and I saw wires from the TV, and I'm like, 2026, why is your wire still showing? You know, these are little things. And as a content creator, you're thinking about where you film, and you're seeing wire showing from the TV when you can easily tuck it in. How are you still putting your TV on top of the console? Like, it is easy for it to break when you can hang it. So your budget is very important to know. Just it's little things that put a place together. Just little things here and there. What kind of chair are you using? What are you investing in? Invest in quality things, because you have people coming in and out. So investing in quality things will only make it last. You cannot be doing that kind of business and you're going to be getting cheap things. I'm using cheap furniture, and then when one person checks out, that's penny wise, you come and start repairing things again. No, invest in things, your washing machine, everything. Make sure you get it from the right dealer so that you have your insurance. Very, 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 very important. Right? Insist on things that last. That's basically what I said. The next one again is maintenance. Please do not run an Airbnb business without having, like, the maintenance culture in Nigeria is bad. That's the problem. That's why once a restaurant opens, I'll just go there and say, let me see how far they will continue with maintaining this place. Maintenance and cleanliness. Nothing is going to stop you from having a cleaning company, even if you don't have people checked in. It is better so that the place doesn't start having a damp smell. Buy diffusers here and there. You can buy your diffusers from me. It's Kosher Spaces. I'm still going to put it here. Buy diffusers. When people come in, let it look and feel good. Like, let the place feel nice. Do you get what I mean? Yeah. Let the place, like, really feel nice. So maintenance is very important. Don't wait till things break down, especially people that are abroad, because Airbnb shortlet is one of the best businesses that you can run from the comfort of comfort of your home. So if you're doing this right, it's important to have a manager who is detailed. Add things like smart lock so that you give them a code and change it. Don't be giving key in 2026. Like, why? You know, smart TV, put your Netflix, put all that for the people. Like, maintenance is the key. That's what I'm saying. Another thing is, like, add things like add-ons that what will make people come to your apartment. Example, people are choosing hotels now because of breakfast. How about I add breakfast? How about I add breakfast? And you're thinking, how can I do this? It's very easy. Partner with a breakfast company to deliver the breakfast to the person every day. Yeah, there's so many breakfast companies. I mean, personally in Lagos, you know, those people that do surprise. And again, guys, if you're very reliable, you can also start sending me a message, because I get a few messages. I'm just going to start looking at it now, because I want to actually have a dedicated video where I talk about, because I love to use things. I don't want to just put out something that I've not tested and tried, and, you know, you guys will be like, oh, Sarah recommended this thing, but it didn't work. So if you're into all this kind of business, you can also put it on the comment so that people can see it. Maybe you sell food and things like that. You can partner with these people. And if you have a guest for 5 days, they will send breakfast. Really, what is breakfast? Add things like coffee machine. Do you understand? Like, add coffee machine to it, and that coffee machine, you can add like 5 pod. Like, what will it cost you? You know, these are little things that people come in and see. Add a welcome thing, like, to your, you know, welcome gift. I curate gift as well, right? You can send message, oh, I have my DM, Kosher Spaces. We have a guest coming in. Please, this is my budget. Like, work with budget. Can work with 10K, 20K, 100K, whatever it is, depends on how long the person is staying. So imagine walking in and the person is walking into like a nice gift. Let me show you guys an example of a gift. So for example, this is a gift that I curated for a client, right? So imagine walking into your Airbnb apartment and you just have this gift for people. It literally contains a book, journal, pillow, a diffuser. It has candle, it has cream. So it's still what they can use there, even if they don't want to travel with it. Now, this thing might look little, but something like this will make them feel like, oh, okay, this person thought about me. This person had me in mind. So add those little add-ons. Cleaning, make sure your cleaning service is reliable. Add breakfast, partner with, you know, company. Make sure that you're maintaining, make sure you're cleaning your curtains. You know, there's people that come and take down the curtains. I used some of them recently. They'll come and take out your curtains and wash it and bring it back for you. When a guest is coming in, fumigate every now and then. Someone commented on my last post that they came into a very dirty Airbnb. Why? I mean, I've experienced something like that in UK, like a bed and breakfast. I was like, I left that night. You get what I mean? Like, what would these things cost you? What will it cost? Instead of begging people to give fake reviews that don't work. If you do these things, if someone walks in and sees a gift and you have a breakfast for the person and things are actually working and you have a welcome thing that actually lists what they should do, even if you're using inverter, you're telling them by this time to this time, this is inverter, so that they're not calling you to say, oh, our air conditioner is not on by this time. No, it has detailed, it has a welcome letter. What is it going to cost you to put a welcome letter to say this is the internet? And again, please guys, internet in Nigeria, your backup must have a backup. Personally, I use cyberspace and I still have a backup of MTN. Now the good thing about the MTN one is that it rolls over, right? The MTN that I use, it rolls over, so that even if people don't use it, you can easily stop it. So you can also pay for your cyberspace for a year. You can put a pause on the subscription. So let's say you don't have anybody for this month and you've already paid, you just put pause it, because imagine coming for a 5 days holiday and people are not able to watch Netflix because MTN has either messed you up or your cyberspace has messed you up or your fiber one. No, don't just have one. It is Nigeria. Your backup needs a backup. The most important thing in Airbnb is to always think about your returning customers. I have so much love, so much regard. I care so much about my returning customers more than new customers. I'm always excited, even on my YouTube channel, when I see the same people responding, the same people commenting. I'm like, okay, I'm doing something right. That's why I'm not into viral. I'm not into, oh, let me just do this content and to go viral and then I'll have 1 million people. And then the next day you barely have 1,000 people that can show up. No, let your place be the go-to place. Like, make it feel like home away from home, that when people are coming back, they're calling you to say, I'm coming to Nigeria, is your space here? They will put it effortlessly, and guess what? It will not cost you much. It will not. Trust me. It will not cost you much to put these things together, to clean your place, to make it smell good, to give them a welcome, to include breakfast or something, right? Even if like maybe what you're charging is really cheap, and you can still add the breakfast option for payment. Like, you know, I was trying to book an apartment recently in Rwanda, and okay, breakfast was $10. So is it that I want it or I don't want it? So even you can just give day one as complimentary. That's okay, complimentary breakfast, but this is it. Make things easy. Have a directory for people. I literally have a video here that shows all the apps that you can use when you come to Nigeria. Now imagine that video, you turn it into something that you can share with people, because, oh, for delivery, contact Mano. For this, contact Glovo. For they'll be like, oh, this host is very thoughtful. Now, thank you so much. And if you want me to do any other thing on Airbnb, shortlet, property buying in Nigeria, that is my field. Please do well to send me a message, and I got you. Thank you, and stay blessed. Don't forget to subscribe, comment, like, share, you know, all that great stuff. Thanks, and stay blessed.